We saw Washington play a lot better against Denver. They still lost, though. But there's a lot of conversation about getting Jaden back. Dan Quinn was asked yesterday about Jaden a couple different ways, and here was the head coach's explanation of where Jaden is now.
It's a little different, John, at the position because of it's not the normal contact like a linebacker or a running back, so it's more of the functional contact. Think of stiff arm on a bag. Think of, diving on the ground. So there's like more functional movements that he'll go through. He did some of that today, and he'll do more of that during the week. So the practice portion for him throwing, like ripped a bunch today and threw it hard, it's the functional movement, John, that he'll continue to work with. So some of that actually will be an individual and, working to the side. But we'll continue to work that part. And that's the step, that we need to see from the, let's say like a functional evaluation, functional contact. And it's not traditional in the sense of like taking a hit.
What do you hear, B?
I don't really know if he's leaning one way or the other. I think that they are concerned about the fact of the inconsistency of how you get hit at that position, and have to brace yourself. Quarterbacks get hit, they have to put their arms in front of them. They get hit, they gotta brace behind them. All those different things. But I was happening to be looking at this video, and I remember Corey Detmer dislocating his elbow, and he bounced back from it, and started playing again, and never had an issue with it again. So I'm leaning to that, and I know also they're a little leery right now about letting him go back. You probably want him to go back, but you're worried about it because you don't want to see nothing else happen. So I can understand this is going to be a delicate one here.
This is definitely a delicate.
I gave you a 6-7.
I feel like he's going to play. Apparently, there was a video of Regina leaving the game Sunday saying he's going to play. That is not going to be the final say.
Listen, if anybody knows how he wants to push things, and she does, you know what I mean? I'm sure he wants to and things like that, but you might have to put a brace on it or something like that. I would say to protect.
Yeah, what can you wear for an elbow like that?
They have these different little braces. Like some of them can be as much as you've seen the ones that offensive linemen wear look like a damn knee brace.
Right.
But then you have the other ones that looks like a sleeve, but you have the little, what's it kind of thing? They have like the little hard plastic stuff in it that laces your arm and kind of give you some extra support. You can wear those. They have them also with sleeve, and they got the little hinge at the elbow part with the two little strips that come down. One goes up, the arm, one goes down, to where you can still move your arm around and bend it how you normally would bend it, but you have that extra layer of protection.
You know what he needs? Remember, Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player I've ever seen. But do you remember once he got all roided up and was just hitting jacks all the time? Remember that giant joint he wore?
Yeah, but see, that's the one I'm talking about. It looks like a damn knee brace.
Right.
That's a little clunky. I don't know if he needs one that clunky.
What does your gut say about Jaden playing Sunday?
I will probably go 50-50 at this point.
What about then New York the following week?
If he doesn't play this week, I'll go 75-80% he will next week.
Is there a point for you? Because I've said this, if he doesn't get on the field for me, my point has been, if he doesn't get on the field until the last two games, because you got Christmas and you got Cowboys and then the Eagles, I'm not sure it's worth getting him out there with 2 games to go. I think with 6 it was, with 5 it is, with 4 it is. If it gets 2 or fewer, I think you just rest him. Do you have a point, or do you think even if it's just the last game of the year?
I think you go whenever.
So even if he just is ready for Philly on January 4th.
If you're looking for him to be like 100%, which I say people never get to, but if you're looking for that to happen and the closest he's going to get to that and he gets there, go with it. Listen, I think you can learn a lot from it. It can teach you a lot when you're dealing with those situations. I will never be the person to just shut people down. I don't believe in that. I watched Joe Burrow come out and play, and he went out there and balled the hell out.
6 games left and a chance at fighting for the division
I understand
title.
it. I understand that, but still, you can set a mindset for coming into the next year. Like we always talk about learning how to win. You don't want to get comfortable with learning how to lose and not how to play neither. So if there comes a point where you feel that it's ready to go, go. But we can't be overly concerned about, how many left or this, that, or the other.
I tend to agree with you. I guess I tend to agree with you to a point. I think you get to 2 games or certainly 1 game. It's not I don't think there's value there. But I think Jayden needs to play. I think he will play. I think if it's not this week, it's next week in New York. The other, like the Jayden stuff was by far kind of the most interesting part of DQ's presser. I asked him a question though, and I'm curious where you land on this because this team has veteran players playing a lot, and they're playing well. Ertz went over 100 yards Sunday night. Bobby Wagner had an interception Sunday night. But in a lost season, you're 3-9. I mean, let's say you get to the Eagles in 2 weeks. Let's even say you win 2 of those. You're 5-9. At a certain point, though, you have to see more young guys on the field to figure out what you got for next year.
See, this is where I'm at, and I see so many people.
I'm asking it.
I know, I understand, but I watch and I listen on so many text threads and chats. Everyone is saying who deserves a chance to play, who should be playing. Don't you all know that the coaches are watching them every day? And if they're not getting a chance, you ever thought that they don't get a chance because they haven't proven that they can play? Or they proven they can handle the job just yet? I know they're younger, but just being younger don't mean better. Don't being younger means ready. They may not be getting on the field at this point because they don't do the things you need to do consistently to get done. So if there are guys that have really, like, we've listened to them, the guys that they have faith in, they discuss. Like McGee, even when he was hurt, they were discussing him and on a regular basis.
So it's interesting you bring that up. So I asked Dan Quinn, and I said it just like I just asked you. I was like, you've got veterans that are performing at a high level, but is there a time where you want younger guys on the field? And he said, I think you want to see a balance of both. It's winning now, which like those moments matter. Although we're not going to have a winning record, that doesn't mean you're not creating winning habits and standards and fundamentals. But a guy like Treylon Burks, I know he's not a first-year player, but he's new to us. And to see him take his space and go. McGee getting extended reps. I do want to see both winning now, seeing those guys perform, but also the development of others. We got our first look at TJ Magaranyaga, the DN.
Yep.
So I found it interesting. I think the big questions for a lot of this are these higher draft picks that really aren't playing that much. And I'm talking Sennett, Coleman, Johnny Newton. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I think people are wondering why aren't they playing more? But I wonder if the answer is in front of them and they just don't want to accept it. Like, if they're not
Coleman played well last year. Coleman moved inside, and when they moved him out of it, don't you think things seem a little better? I don't
he's
like
just not playing.
But my thing is, do you just move somebody out just to move somebody in because they're young? Like, we always talk about, if Jaden don't have so and so and so and so playing, you don't put him out there. So we're gonna just put guys out there just to put them out there to see. That's another way of putting somebody at risk, right?
Again, I think these are fair questions. I don't know the answers. I like a guy like Johnny Newton is a second rounder from a few years ago. You've had significant injuries along your defensive line, and Newton is playing through 12 games, 33% of snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But Johnny has never been the guy even when they drafted him, you look at his build, he's more of a situational guy. So I never expected him to be playing the bulk of them.
I think what you start to see is that a miss? Because Johnny Newton's supposed to be this excellent interior pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
And the size doesn't necessarily help you against the run. And I think we've seen the latter for sure. And I don't think the exceptional pass rushing has come along. And maybe it's because you're behind Kinlaw and Payne, but you drafted this dude, and then a year later you signed Kinlaw. So some of the answers to these questions, unfortunately, I think are there. Now, the second rounder that was playing a ton and playing really well was Trey Amos. Then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
So it's not all misses, and it's not all tit for tat. You know what I mean?
But the thing of it is, when you're building a team and you're formulating a team, you want to get the best people on the field consistently, right?
Sure.
So if the people in front of somebody is better and they're playing well, why do you have to automatically just put the other guy in there?
I think that's a fair counter. I think the question is then, did you miss on some of these higher picks?
But you may not have missed. It's just that the guys that are better are playing that good, and they and some of them are in such shape they don't have to take a lot of breaks.
Well, dude, I think the Ertz situation is really interesting, right? Because Ertz has played at a high level. Last year, he was excellent. This year, he's been good. There have been some drops. There have been some false starts.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Sennett was a second rounder 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Sennett has played 25% of your offensive snaps.
Yeah.
And I think it said a lot. Last year, it was reasonable. They signed Ertz as a veteran. We know what we got from him. We're going to work to develop this dude. Then they brought him back again.
Yeah.
I think some of these answers are telling you how they view it. Yankoff got the target the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I look at. People say what Sennett's supposed to be doing, but you see Yankoff getting opportunities. And you see Yankoff making plays a lot of times when he get opportunity. Why is it just because he's supposed to get an opportunity? I mean, maybe just like some people, like I said all the time, most people don't step into the NFL ready to go the first year. Some of them not ready the second year. They probably got to hit their third. But if the person don't get it sometimes, it could not be, the coaches could be giving you everything you need, but the person not utilizing when they're on the field. See, I have watched guys, when that coach has that sheet before you go into the huddle, or they are talking to you before you go into in practice, they do everything right. But when you're on the field by yourself and you have to think about everything and you have to remember the tidbits and the things that you got to be looking for in that, they are a little slower. And what I say, if you're thinking on the field, you're in trouble. So have they not hit it to where they could just react?
The tricky, totally. And the tricky part, if you want to look at year-over-year team building, you take Coleman in the third round last year. He starts for you basically his entire rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Missed a little bit of time.
Oh.
But then this offseason, you trade for Tunsil.
Yeah.
The Tunsil trade looks great. You got to pay him. He's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Then you draft a kid in the first round at tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of telling yourself, whether they're going to say it or not, they're telling you what they think. Like the actions speak far louder than the words.
But the thing of it is, Coleman was a guy who many thought was going to be a guard in this league, not a tackle.
Right.
And they tried him at tackle. Okay. And I think when they went out to get Tunsil, nobody was upset at that because we felt that there were things he did at tackle that you can't have that. So we felt he'll be better moving inside because he showed such promise outside. Then he moves inside, and then all of a sudden he wasn't
then
playing.
They draft Connerly,
but Connerly is a tackle still,
right?
But he wasn't playing when he moved inside, and he was healthy. What happened?
Inactive.
What happened? Okay, did he show that he wasn't able to make the transition, or did something else happen that kind of got him in the doghouse or something? I was wondering because when I see a guy healthy, all of a sudden go from playing and not even dressing out, I'm concerned about that. But then he had a chance to go back and tackle because Tunsil got hurt a little bit, and he was good at that. So what you're building, what I'm seeing is we want everybody to play. Everybody can't play at the same time. But the thing about Coleman, what he does give you seems to be depth at the offensive line position. And if you're going to build a damn good team, you need to have depth at every position.
One player for Washington has taken every offensive snap this season?
Who?
You want to guess?
Biotic?
Biotic has taken all but 3. Biotic has taken 99.6% of snaps.
Wiley?
Connerly.
Connerly?
So for all the talk about the rookie, he is.
But, and he's gotten better. Like,
yeah, I agree.
See, this is. I get lost when I'm hearing a lot of comments how guys are playing this. Nobody hits the ground running and just great the first time.
Jaden did.
He still made some rookie mistakes too. You know, he showed you great promise, but he did make rookie mistakes. And I think the ultimate thing is nobody's perfect. I'll say that. No one is perfect when they first get out there.
Sure.
And I think we look for perfection. And we all know it doesn't happen.
The problem is at some point, if this, it speaks to the disjointed nature of this past offseason, right? Is it a rebuild? Or are we going for it? Is it a rebuild? Or are we going for it?
They went for it. I mean, they got so close that they decided we're going to take this chance.
But these young guys they've drafted, which is how the plan is to build, at this point through 2-3 years, you got questions about them because they're not getting on the field. And they're not getting on the field because they're not proving they have to be.